Hey guys, today's beginner guide video will be on Ashe. She is typically in the bot lane as either an ADC. I know that she is also picking up play as a support, but she's also a very straightforward champion, so it's easy to pick up her skills and her playstyle, but she's also one of the most versatile ADCs to play. So the runes I like to go on Ashe is press the attack, presence of mind, alacrity, coup de grace, cheap shot, ultimate hunter with the attack speed and double armor runes. I like press the attack over lethal tempo because it's just easier to execute and use. If you're new to the role or new to the champion, then press the attack is just something that as a beginner it's easier to use and make use of. Lethal tempo involves you being able to make use of the increased attack speed, which involves being able to click off of a champion to stutter step or attack move commands so that you can make use of the attack speed. Presence of mind is so when you're harassing in lane you get to keep your mana up because your main harass is volley. It does cost a lot of mana at the early levels. Alacrity is because she is one of the auto attack based champions. She makes use of the attack speed very well and she needs it as majority of her damage comes from her auto attacks. Coup de grace is because she wants to be dealing damage from a healthy point where you want to be behind your front line, so you should never have low life or like last stand, and you want to just get that extra damage eventually when they get to below 40 health. The secondary part here is the cheap shot and ultimate hunter. I know that a lot of builds are going to free boots and approach velocity. I just like the cheap shot and ultimate hunter better than that because the cheap shot will proc on your auto attacks as your auto attack will apply slow or your W applies slows. So you just get to keep getting cheap shot off. Ultimate hunter is because she also has one of the best ultis for an ADC in my opinion. The standard start I go with her is tier because the W does cost a lot of mana, and because she builds attack speed, later on when you finish the Manamune, you just get more additional damage on top of that because of the individual auto attacks that are going through when you get to that higher attack speed. So I typically also like to go volley first into the Q second into another level of the W, and then I'll get the hawk shot at level 4, and then that's just because the volley, if you're playing into squishies, then the harass just starts adding up a lot so that you can try to poke them out, maybe force them off of minion waves. So her skills are pretty straightforward. For auto attacks, you can press Q to get the ranger focus, which lets you fire the flurry. The flurry will only count on hits once, but it increases your attack speed and increases your base damage slightly. So you'll do slightly more damage when you have the flurry active, but it's also mainly for that attack speed. It does have a weird mechanic with Black Cleaver where it will apply 5 stacks of Black Cleaver on one auto attack, which with the new Black Cleaver rework or addition on the light damage might actually be really good. I haven't really gone around to testing it out yet. So you see here stacking up. The other thing also with it is it cannot you cannot gain that stack on towers. So you can auto the minions, get the stack, and then activate it, and then auto the tower when you have that ranger focus. Her W is a fan skill shot. Comes out in a fan. So what you want to do is you kind of want to angle it where you see this minion line is coming in. I want to shoot it from the side here so it hits as many minions as I can if I want to create a push. It also lets me harass enemy champions if they're trying to like stand behind the minion line. See? So if you shoot it from the front, then the projectiles don't penetrate. So like right there, I only hit the first unit and then the back unit here. If I stand on the side here, you'll see I hit all 5 units. Now, you never really want to position that far up, but if you can like position behind your enemy or your minions to W the enemy minions or the enemy champion, then that gives you an easier harass. And you get to push minion waves and then maybe poke your opponents out of lane. It also pairs really well with, depending on what your support is, you can either pair it with like Karma Q, Morgana Q, or even apply the slow so that your engage support like Leona can engage on the enemy champion because of, you know, your slow hitting. The other thing with her is the E Hawk shot. It's just a global vision, and typically what I like to do with it is I shoot it across to the far camps. This lets me kind of scout out the whole quadrant of the jungle, of the enemy jungle, to see like, okay, is he potentially on Krugs? Is he potentially, you know, on the blue side? If he's on blue side, I need to play slightly back because, you know, they can gank me. So just make sure that you send it to the far camp so you get like full vision, because it can pass through and then you just get to see what camps are up. The ulti is just a skill shot CC, and let me see here. It's just one of the most versatile ultis for an ADC in the game right now, just because you can use it to make a long range pick where, okay, if he's here and my team's here, he's engaged on, he's dead. If I'm getting engaged on from here, I can shoot it here and then build space for myself. So you can either use it offensively or defensively. The other thing with Ashe that you have to be able to practice is clicking and moving. It's just the way I like to put it. People say attack cancellation, they're just different ways to say the same thing, where you issue a movement command before your full auto attack animation ends, so that you can already start to reposition, already start moving. So it's harder to land like skill shots where you can land that move and your opponent, like, you have a better chance to respond to your opponent's skill shots. So you see here, I'm auto attacking and then I'm clicking off the unit before the arrow hits. My champion model is already moving before the arrow hits. It lets me potentially duck behind minions to dodge skill shots, or like just move away so I can reposition better. So that's just something you have to pick up as an auto attack based ADC. I personally like clicking and moving. Some people do like the attack move command, where they use attack move to move and then attack at the same time. You have to know the ups and downs of it. So attack move lets you like stutter step easier, but then the issue is sometimes if the enemy minion wave is here, you don't get to choose your target when you attack move. As it prioritizes, I believe, the closest target to your champion model. So sometimes you'll auto attack a minion compared to like just clicking on the target itself. Yeah, so it actually prioritizes the target closest to where your click is. So sometimes it just messes up and might target the wrong thing, whether it's like the wrong champion or the wrong minion. The perk of it is it always lets you max range, where you shoot it at the max range. Where you might mess up and like click to the side of the enemy champion and then like step up into melee range. As an ADC, your biggest advantage is you're typically all ranged, so you need to make use of that range. Ashe is one of the easier ones to make use of it because she has that build as well, so she can kite enemy champions a lot easier, where it's like auto attack, they're slow, they have to follow you, you can throw your W back and then just build space for yourself. So the mechanics there with the click and move is pretty standard for almost every ADC. You can also be doing it as almost every champion, because you can always cancel some type of attack frame at the end. So it's just more prevalent and more important on ADCs, because if they're ever out of position, because they're so squishy, then more than likely you're gonna get blown up. Thank you for checking out my champion guide. I hope that the tips in this video help you guys in your climb. I know that these are not the most popular builds in playstyles, however they are stepping stones to improve your gameplay. As a player, you can't expect to immediately play at a high level, just as you wouldn't expect a medical student to do a heart transplant without building up. Please let me know in the comments below the next champion you want to see. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe for future content. I hope these tips helped, and as always, keep climbing.